He didn't expect it. He wasn't even looking for it. But 2 months in, he noticed something no pill or pep talk had given him in years. His morning erections returned, spontaneously, naturally. And that small change told me something dramatic, not just about him, but about thousands of men silently facing the same problem. If you're over 40, still feeling desire but frustrated that your body just isn't keeping up, this video might change how you think about aging forever. Because erectile dysfunction, it's not just in your head. Often it's a chemical biological signal from your body that's been ignored for far too long. Today, I'm going to walk you through what actually worked for one of my patients, we'll call him David, and why science now shows that the bedroom issue so many men silently suffer with often starts with something as simple as a lack of blood flow. You'll learn the real connection between nitric oxide, exercise, and bedroom performance, and I promise you've never heard it explained quite like this. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you, because believe it or not, most men never talk about this openly, so be brave. Comment below with one word that describes your experience with male performance or energy as you've gotten older. Frustrated? Confused? Improving? Whatever it is, put it in the comments. You are not alone, and your comment could actually help another man feel seen and finally get the answers he needs. Alright, let me take you inside David's story and show you exactly how a few critical changes helped restore not just his confidence, but his chemistry. You need to understand that. When it comes to erectile health, spontaneous morning erections are an important physiological indicator. These occur during REM sleep when the autonomic nervous system is most active, and they're not tied to conscious desire or stimulation. Their presence strongly indicates that the physical structures and blood supply to the penis are still functional. So, this spontaneous return gave us a clear, objective signal that we were on the right track, even before any major subjective improvements had been reported. At that point, David had been consistently using a nitric oxide support powder for perhaps 5 or 6 weeks, and he'd started walking daily. I'll touch more on both of those strategies shortly, because they're central to the way we approach this case. But first, it's important to step back and understand the root of his complaint. David was in his late 50s, perhaps around 58 to 60. His primary issue was relatively straightforward. He still had desire, his libido hadn't diminished, but his body wasn't cooperating the way it used to. Erections had become less reliable, and this decline had been developing gradually over the previous 2 years. There was no sudden shift, no recent addition of medications, no traumatic life event triggering it. It was a slow, progressive decline, something I see often in men of that age group. What's striking is how common yet underexplained this scenario is. He'd been told what many men are told: it's just aging. And yes, from a statistical standpoint, erectile dysfunction becomes more prevalent with age, but common is not the same as inevitable, and it certainly doesn't mean there's nothing that can be done. So let's get into the science for a moment. A central player in erectile function is a molecule called nitric oxide. This compound acts as a vasodilator. It tells the smooth muscle in your blood vessels to relax, allowing them to expand and permit greater blood flow. This is a crucial mechanism not just for heart health, but also for achieving and maintaining erections. When we're younger, our bodies are highly efficient at producing nitric oxide. But as we age, this mechanism tends to weaken. The endothelial cells lining our blood vessels don't produce nitric oxide as readily, and oxidative stress begins to degrade what little is made. As a result, even when the brain sends all the right signals, when sexual arousal is intact, the blood vessels don't respond as quickly or as fully. This leads to incomplete or inconsistent erections. Now, importantly, this isn't a libido issue. It's not a lack of interest or arousal. It's often not psychological in origin, although, as we'll see, psychological responses can complicate the picture significantly. At its core, what David was experiencing was a decline in blood flow-related chemistry. His body simply wasn't making or maintaining the nitric oxide levels it needed. And to make matters worse, his lifestyle wasn't supporting that pathway either. His diet was notably lacking in key foods that support nitric oxide production, Very few leafy greens, almost no beets, and very little of the natural dietary nitrates that feed what's known as the nitrate-nitrite-NO pathway. Most people don't realize that the body has more than one way to generate nitric oxide. Beyond the traditional enzyme-driven pathway that requires L-arginine and endothelial nitric oxide synthase, ENOS, there's a secondary pathway reliant on dietary nitrates, which can still function even when the body's own systems are starting to falter. So, we discussed two main strategies. First, we looked at nutrition, increasing his intake of nitrate-rich vegetables like arugula, spinach, and beets. These foods provide a direct source of nitrates that the body can use to produce nitric oxide, independent of enzymatic synthesis. Second, he began taking a supplement, specifically a powdered formulation that included L-citrulline, which the body converts into L-arginine, ultimately supporting nitric oxide production via the enzymatic pathway. Now, the reason the powder supplement came into the picture was practical. David was clear with me. He wasn't going to be roasting beets or juicing spinach every day. That simply didn't align with his lifestyle, and consistency is critical in this context. When we can't rely on daily dietary nitrates through whole foods, a well-formulated supplement can fill the gaps, ensuring the body is at least getting the necessary precursors on a consistent basis. To be clear, I told him from the start, this wasn't a magic fix. It wasn't about taking one supplement and expecting overnight results. What truly stood out in David's case, and in many others I've seen, is how small, sustained changes over time had a compounding effect. There was no dramatic single turning point. Over the course of several weeks, his baseline started to shift. Erections became more reliable, more consistent, and as his physical function improved, the anxiety component, the mental stress and anticipatory worry began to dissolve on its own. That's a really important point. In many men, psychological performance anxiety is actually secondary. It's a reaction to recurring physical failure, not the root cause, but it can create a powerful feedback loop. Each time the body doesn't respond, the mind tightens its grip. The worry becomes self-fulfilling. However, once physical reliability returns, confidence often does too. We also had David integrate moderate, consistent physical activity, specifically 30 minutes of walking per day. It sounds basic, almost too simple. But the act of moving blood through the vascular system stimulates endothelial function. Moderate aerobic exercise has been shown in numerous studies to upregulate nitric oxide production naturally. In fact, regular movement is one of the best things you can do to support both cardiovascular and sexual health. So in David's case, we were essentially helping from both angles, supplying the raw materials through diet and supplementation, while stimulating the body's own natural production mechanisms through physical activity. That dual approach, meeting the physiology where it's at while nudging it to do better, made a significant difference. It's cases like David's that stay with me. Because when a new patient walks through my door with a similar story and they've already been told it's just stress or it's part of getting older, I think of him. And I think of how many men are sitting with a circulatory problem that no one has truly tried to address. And when you do address it, even with small, sustainable interventions, the changes can be profound. The system was capable all along. It just needed the right type of support.